In July 2025, a quiet town in Lagos became the center of a bold new vision, one that could redefine how Africa moves. At the heart of it all stands SAGLEV, Nigeria's first full-scale electric vehicle assembly, welcoming leaders from policy, finance, and development to witness a revolution already in motion. The Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade, and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, arrived not just to observe, but to endorse.
Okay. This is my first time in this capacity, visiting an EV plant, and just to see the dexterity, the range of products available, logistics, businesses. So from a business perspective, the affordable vehicle, under 20 million naira. There's also opportunities for credit. And so that's another thing that young Nigerians can look at. We talked about the transportation business, Uber drivers, Bolt, and how they can lease vehicles like this, and they have the track record through technology to prove to their bank. We have the bankers in this project, Fidelity Bank, around here, also big supporters of manufacturing and MSMEs, and so delighted to have them on board on this project. So we continue to deliver a workable reform for small and medium-sized enterprises as they scale, as they manufacture, as they produce. We want them to be competitive. We've also had the high-end range. I had the privilege of driving the high-end range. I really enjoyed it. You can see from my smile. These are vehicles that use like 80% less of power. I got the statistics from the chairman, and it's really what can take Nigeria to the next level. What can help productivity with projects like our coastal road. You know what that's going to mean as a multiplier effect for the Nigerian economy. And so I'm really excited to see the opportunity of this supply for the demand that is the Nigerian economy.
Alongside her, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwunmi Adesina, a symbol of progress across the continent, walked through the same factory floors where Nigerian hands are building tomorrow's mobility.
For us as African Development Bank, a big part of our work is industrial. That's what I see here. Secondly, is that they need infrastructure. To be able to do this, you need power. You need to be able to have power, lower costs. So your unit cost of production is actually quite low. And second, and even related to that, is that the electric vehicles they need electricity to be able to charge it. And that's why, at the African Development Bank, in the last 10 years, we've connected more than 28 million people to electricity. And we are investing heavily in energy. So you put it right here in Nigeria. So helping in that is going to be a very big thing for that. The cost of capital is always a challenge. I mean, he's put a lot of his money, private equity, his own equity into this. Cost of capital is 3 to 5 times higher than any other parts of the world. And so we can help in many ways to risk lending to companies like this. So we have a lot of facilities that can do that. We also have lines of credit we provide for commercial banks, many of them in Nigeria, that can be able to support someone like that, having these great companies like this. So yes, and our role, of course, my role is also to be a champion, and can be sure wherever I go, I'll champion orders.
They weren't alone. The managing directors of First Bank and directors from Fidelity Bank stood shoulder to shoulder with innovators and engineers, recognizing that real transformation demands more than machines. It requires vision, investment, and belief in what's possible. SAGLEV is more than a car company. It's a declaration that Nigeria will not be left behind in the global shift to clean technology. That local talent with the right hands can build world-class solutions. That from Lagos, Nigeria, electric dreams can become national policy, a commercial reality, and a household confidence.
Real quickly, yes, we do have an OEM or original equipment manufacturing partner called Feng. We only assemble Feng vehicles, which helped us to focus our attention to one OEM. Yes, and the capacity is expandable to 10,000. Currently, it's 2,500 in Monday to Friday, one shift. If we go to 2.5 shifts, Monday to Saturday, 10,000. But it is the population and the economy has to prove to us that the demand is there and we can meet it. Our job is to be ready to meet that demand. So that is So that's my response to your question. It is very difficult to duplicate. This is many billions of naira, as you can imagine. But we don't have to manufacture everywhere. What we need and what people need is after-sales service, reliable parts, reliable support, and warranty. So yes, we are in the process of developing our infrastructure, office, and everything in Abuja. The next one will be in Port Harcourt, then Kano. So that is already going. But in case you want to, we already have customers everywhere. So the question of demand is not even, in fact, our first few customers came from outside Lagos. So yeah, so definitely we don't have to, I cannot promise that we're going to assemble immediately, but as the capacity goes above, we are definitely going to assemble. Well, let me release a little bit of nugget of information. So there are other assemblers in other parts of the country who have said, well, we don't assemble EV, but we have the infrastructure. How can we work together to also assemble EV along with you in their factory?
As dignitaries toured the plant, they saw more than chassis and circuits. They saw jobs, scaled, local, and future-proof. They saw infrastructure that reaches beyond factory gates, charging stations across Nigeria, solar-powered innovation hubs, and a blueprint for scalable green mobility. In their words, it was clear. This is not just about transport. It's about climate leadership, about industrial sovereignty, about showing that even in the face of power challenge and policy uncertainty, Nigeria can lead from the front.
So I think that we should stop this rhetoric of Nigerians not patronizing Nigerian products. It is an investor who had brought in a product that is Chinese and going to be domiciled here. That's in manufacturing. He also has his own brand that will be manufactured right here. SKD means you put different levels of finishing touches, but all the way with the opportunity to scale to CAD. That's the completely knocked down parts will be manufactured here. This is what creates jobs. This is what makes competitiveness. And this is what makes an economy grow. There's no shortcut to the work it takes. So we really need to acknowledge and support investors who have taken the hard road of going through finding land, finding technical partners, going through trade facilitation with our ports, all the reforms that are ongoing now, and making sure they're training young Nigerians, technicians, making sure they're also looking to how they will expand after finishing the Nigerian market, or even while finishing the Nigerian market, exporting to the African Continental Free Trade Area. So there's really such an opportunity for growth, and this is exactly what President Bola mentioned, who wants to see and how he wants to support domestic investors. And so it's a privilege and an honor for us to be here today.
The vehicles are just the beginning. SAGLEV aims to roll out 10,000 electric vehicles annually with models designed for everyday Nigerian, affordable, durable, and proudly assembled on Nigerian soil. From mass transit to private mobility, this is the dawn of an ecosystem. The presence of banks, development institutions, and the federal government was more than symbolic. It was strategic because energy transition isn't just a global necessity. It's a national opportunity. And SAGLEV is proof that the opportunity is already being seized.
But all I want you to know is that, look, Nigeria is 65 years old. Rome was not built in a day. So we keep building, we learn from our mistakes, and we do things right. That's what matters.